On June 20th, 2015, a post is made on the GMDW Neighbor Cafe forum. The finale has begun. Find it, and it shall be yours. The message is vague and leaves no context to what it entails. However, upon closer examination, it is found that the image contains a link. This link is hidden in small text at the bottom right of the image and leads to another blog post by the same user. This new post gives further clues to what this whole thing really is. Hello, whoever stumbled upon this. I intend to finish what I have started. Only one was ever released. The rest, now gone. Only one more will be finished. Let the hunt continue. 6/21/2015, 11:30 a.m. KST. Check search bar. Bug. The following day, at the designated time, nothing is seen. This is where the final line from the second post comes into play. It hints at a bug that has existed on the site for some time now. This bug allowed users to see posts that other users had set to friends/neighbors only. In the search bar, however, it would only allow them to view the title and first few lines of said post. And thus, the newest clue is found using this bug. From what is viewable, it says, "Good job on finding this." Quickly, users find out that it translates from binary code into yet another link, this time to a website. Upon entering this link into a search engine, they uncover yet another clue. You have one day to discover the next step. 11:30 a.m. 6/22/2015 KST. They note how this is similar to the binary code before, and thus discover that it is a Caesar cipher. Once decoded, it reads, "Use the first, find the second." This one is the most confusing of them all thus far. Perhaps the two links are the same? And what does the $X equal mean? But for now, these questions can wait. Accessing this new link, they find that it leads to a download for an audio file. It is an intelligible garble of sounds, but they know that within it must lie the next clue that they're looking for. After a few hours, they come to the conclusion that the hint must lie within its spectrogram, as they have not been able to find any hidden text nor clues embedded within the file itself. And they turn out to be correct. After converting it into a spectrogram, it reveals a set of numbers carefully arranged to make up the audio of the whole file. It reads 2019374. Now it becomes clear. The second link was only supposed to serve as the missing piece for the first link, hence the use the first, find the second line. Upon filling in the missing section from the first link, it takes them to yet another download, this time for a short, cryptic video.
Means that
a number of users send requests to this mysterious account, and in minutes they are accepted, and shortly thereafter, one more post is sent meant for them only. It reads, "This will now switch to Geometry Dash itself. Signed, Quantum Minus." This new name that they used, the searchers theorize, is a clue itself, and only makes sense that it must be their username within the game. Therefore, they conclude that this must be the user subtly telling them to add the mentioned account in-game. And as they do so, one by one, they are each sent a singular number in the following order: 1, 5, 7, 8, 4, 3, 7, 8. They combine the numbers sent to them to create a level ID, which they then use to find, wait, that can't be the next clue. This level is from an entirely different creator, unless this is another account of the mysterious user. They create a copy of said level, but no, it's an entirely normal level. No cryptic clues, not even anything slightly out of the ordinary. They check the description, comments, the creator's account. Nothing. What is going on here? Have they been tricked? For 2 days, they're stumped until they take a closer look at each of their messages. They notice something peculiar. Each message has been sent so precisely that not a single one of them has received it at the same time as another. Comparing each one, they notice: sent 1 minute ago, 5. Sent 2 minutes ago, 1. Sent 3 minutes ago, 3. And so on and so forth. With this new observation, they conclude that the order of the numbers depends on which one was sent earliest. They carefully arrange them, earliest to latest date sent, and quickly they are met with this new ID: 513487-8. Upon entering this new one into the search bar, they know they have been correct. It leads them to a private level posted by Quantum Minus. The description reads, "If you have found this, congrats on figuring out the trick. Leave a comment that you have been here. I am watching." Option to copy the level has been disabled by the user, but it's no big deal. They enter the level, and what awaits them is a set of instructions. Hydrogen, find me in comments. Hydrogen? What does that mean? Another user? However, the confusion fades as they quickly discern that it must refer to some kind of level based on the fact that the instructions mention the comment sections. And they enter the term hydrogen into the level search, but it turns up nothing useful. Perhaps then, they think, hydrogen might mean something else, or that maybe it is a further clue to what they should be looking for. In a short while, they theorize that hydrogen might be referring to the one on the periodic table, since it is the most recognizable and likely for it to be the meaning behind the single word. Not only this, but coincidentally, element 1H is at an actual level made in the game itself by ARG. They decide that this must be what Quantum Minus was alluding to earlier. Scrolling through the comments, they eventually find one left behind by the user, and it reads, "This is where it began, and I shall end it. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. KST. Now they have a faint lead on who this mysterious user could be. Is it Arco, as he never finished the series, and the user clearly drew a connection to this level specifically for their latest hint? Or could it be one of the Element series' creators who want to finish their series while drawing attention to themselves for it? Is it someone else entirely? But for now, that question will have to wait. (6/22/2015, 10 p.m. KST). How disappointing that the rest weren't finished. 118 levels, not many done. The ones that were finished, chlorine, just like last time, a look at what we did. This time, the newest post is taking them to another level, Element 12 CL by Megadeer. They assume that, like before, the clue is left by another comment from Quantum Minds. And once again, they are correct. The comment has yet another link, this time to a private blog post by his Naver account. This leads to an image of a post by Arco of when he was recruiting people for the Element series. Although there's a peculiarity about this image. Upon brightening it up and adjusting contrast, you can see what appears to be one, if not more, images that were layered behind the first one. Working carefully, they managed to extract each layer of the image one by one, and this is what they get. The first image shows, of course, Arco's post. The second image is yet another post by Arco, this time showing the people who were selected to create in his Element series. The third image is of some posts made by other Element creators. And the final image seems to be taken from the user's computer themselves. It says, "Look at how much we did, what we were going to do, and had done. And we wasted. I wasted. No longer. I will keep going." What does this even mean? There doesn't seem to be anything hidden here this time, no matter how hard you try to look. But maybe that's not the user's intention here. They're showing them something about their own experience with the Element series perhaps. For the next few days, nothing is posted. As a result, the searchers discuss who this person could be. Now it's almost certain they had to be one of the creators in the Element series. Who? In their minds, Uncle seems like the best candidate. The way the user refers to the series as wasted and treating it as if they were their own personal pride seems to connect the host himself to the mysterious user. But then again, what if it's not him? Then who could it be? Sure, they talk about not having finished their levels, but then again, neither did any of the creators in the Element series. This fact doesn't narrow it down. There are simply too many former participants, no matter who they think of. Blacklight, Laser, Orca, Star FTW, Equinox, IG, Sundle, and more. None of them seem to stand out. Except for one, of course. Dark X. How could it even be him? He left. They all knew it. He never returned to the game. His original account on Naver is still up, not having posted anything since. Besides, there's no reason for him to return that they could think of. What could a former disgraced cheater like him get out of this? Furthermore, the earlier post mentioned how they're only going to finish one more level. This doesn't line up with Dark X, nor fit his style at all. So with this in mind, they can safely rule Dark X out. Nine more days pass until finally, on the 1st of July 2015, 3:43 PM, they get another post on GMDW. Just one image, this time of a creator showing his part that they built in the Element series with the title "In Plain Sight." Accompanying this image, the title just reads, "Within." Within what, though? Nothing seems off about the image. Neither is there a hidden text anywhere. The increased brightness and contrast. Still nothing. Now, it becomes obvious. There has to be a new method used there if they want to find out what really hides inside the image. Eventually, using a steganography tool, they at last uncover what's contained within the image. 43 degrees, 39, 11.5-N, 79 degrees, 22, 59.5-W, N equals minus first line, W equals minus second line. Find what is there and what is not. Taking a moment to observe this new clue, the searchers know that from taking into account of second and third line, that they must change something, take out certain things within the first line to complete something. Perhaps a real-world location? But what to take out or leave in? Looking at the second line, it appears to be what they must do here. N must be the first half, 43, 39, 11.5, and W must be the second half, 79, 22, 59.5. But what to do with the... After a day of trying to figure out the meaning of the second line, one of the searchers theorizes that maybe instead of the minus signs representing negative numbers, they instead mean that they must subtract or take out the designated numbers in each line. In this case, for N, they would have to take out the first number from each pair of numbers in its half. Then for W, they do the same thing, but take out the second number from each pair. Using this, they are left with 3, 9, 1.5, and 7, 2, 5.5. Entering this into Google Maps yields them nothing useful in the slightest. Maybe now they know there has to be either something they did wrong, or they're actually on the right track, but missing something important. Thus, one half of the team goes backwards to check the original set of numbers, while the other half checks the new set of numbers from step 2. The first team checks the original coordinates, but it also doesn't reveal anything of use. It's looking unlikely that whatever this new hint is lies in a real-world location. Meanwhile, the second team is looking at the second set of coordinates, but as they already know, it, like the first set, isn't likely to go anywhere either. And after yet another day, another person suggests that the two sets of rules earlier might still apply to the newest set of numbers. Thus, they come up with this: 3, 9, 5, 7, 2, 5. But still, this doesn't solve anything. These coordinates don't work at all. So have they made a catastrophic mistake this time around? But wait a second, one of them says. What if instead of using the second line, they instead use the third line only? What if the only thing they have to remove are the coordinate symbols instead of more numbers? It's an idea born out of desperation, but it's the best one they have. So they apply it to the original, step 2, and now newest set of numbers, and what they're finally left with appears to be more IDs for geometry dash levels, which goes as follows. They can easily rule out the first option. No level exists with that large of an ID number. The second variant for it, though, could be two separate level IDs, taking into account that the N and W set of numbers might be separate from each other based on the hints left behind by the mysterious user. The second set of numbers from step 2 can also be ruled out. Their IDs are way too low to be any level that currently exists on the servers. Likewise, the second variant of these sets of numbers have the same issue. This time, it's way too large of an ID to reasonably be an actual published level on the servers. This one can, in turn, be entirely ruled out as an option. The final set of numbers from the last step can once again be ruled out, being too small of an ID to be actual numbers. However, the second variant of it, which combines the two, could actually be a level on the servers, albeit an old one at that. The final list of IDs is this. The first two IDs lead to levels, sure, but they're not useful at all and provide no hints. Furthermore, they aren't even made by quantum minus, meaning these aren't the levels they meant for the searchers to find. this leaves just the final ID. If this isn't right, they might just have to give up here. And upon entering the ID, they find that it does lead to a level, but it's not by Quantum Minus, rather by a random green user named Void. Seems they were wrong this whole time. However, one of them decides to check out the level. Nope, nothing interesting, just a bunch of weird, messy, and peculiar gameplay. Then they check the comments, and right there is Quantum Minus. They were correct this whole time. Very well done. You are smarter than the rest. I congratulate you. This is where everything started. 5620391. Yet another ID. And like before, this leads searchers to a private level by the user. This description reads, I know you have solved it if you're here. No need to comment. Take a break. You will need it for what's coming. Check back here. 7/3/2015. Taking a breather after this whole task, they know that from now on, the puzzles are only going to get harder. The only catch is, if that puzzle was this much of a step up in difficulty, what awaits them tomorrow? Hello. What is coming now will truly test all of your skills. Remember them, and remember them well. What they are presented with is a truly massive wall of what appears to be binary code. However, when translated, it reveals nothing except for garbled junk. This mess of letters, they think, must be a code of some sort. But nothing they do yields anything other than gibberish. Maybe this is a code hidden behind layers and layers of other codes. They keep trying anything they can think of, but none of it works. In the end, they conclude that this specific solution is not the one that works here. Thus, they look both to new methods and old ones that they have tried before. Eventually, some of them hypothesize that instead of this wall of numbers being code or a cipher, they are rather the binary data for an image. When they finally convert it into one, it shows a screenshot of a mysterious level with the text. Once I moved on from the first few ones, I began something that would be the framework for what would come after. It seems as if Quantum Minus once again reminisces on the past, possibly describing their very first level projects. But as a few days wear on, nothing new is posing from them. No clue, no hints, nothing. What does this mean? These few days turn to weeks, then into a month. What the heck is happening here? One of the searchers, however, suspects that, far from a disappearance, the user is still very much there, just silently watching them still, which could only mean that they must have not completed the most recent puzzle. Eventually, they go back to the level screenshot and begin to try and unravel anything that might help them complete this latest step. There are no image layers or anything else hidden in the image. Then, they try any remaining new method that they can think of. Still nothing. Wait a second. Maybe the purpose of this isn't to use anything new, but rather to utilize what they have learned before to solve them. And at last, upon using a spectrogram, they discover that the screenshot has been modified in such a way that it now contains an audio file within itself. Using the spectrogram once again on the audio file, they find that it has a set of instructions in a cipher. When translated, it reads, "You have not been tricked, neither was it a false trail." once again, another link to a download, this time to a document with even more instructions. Find the pattern, find what is right, what is wrong, what should remain, what should not. The thing is, the document has nothing else in it. Upon seeing this, they all know that the said missing piece to this must be hidden in the files somewhere. Upon investigating, they dig up another huge wall of numbers and letters with various syntax scattered all around it. Throughout the course of the next month, they follow the instructions left behind and slowly unravel what truly lies inside the mess of numbers, letters, and symbols. Everything has multiple layers, multiple steps one must take to solve it. Message me that you have finished this. You have almost proven yourself worthy to know the full truth. Nearly 4 months of work to get to this point. It feels as if this may be the end. They have to be getting close at this point, surely. As soon as they message the user, another puzzle is posted. In pieces, just like how it was after ... Find the order. At the bottom of these instructions lies what appears to be 2 halves of another spectrogram. Quickly, it becomes clear the enormity of what is being asked of them. They must find the order of both halves of the spectrogram and align them so precisely that it creates the original message that lies within it. Upon calculating, it appears to be a total of what is anywhere from 480 to 840 different possible arrangements. This is a monumental task, but they have invested so much time into this that walking away from it would be unthinkable. Therefore, they work on it for an entire year, all the way into 2016, and finally, they discover the order in which they were meant to be arranged. Then, putting these 2 halves of the spectrogram together, they form a series of long clicks as well as short clicks, telltale signs of Morse code. Then entering this into a translator, it reads the following: 6239809. Leave something to show that you have been there. Same thing as what they have done before. They find the level and leave a comment to show that they have at last finished the spectrogram. But this time, you see this. Your determination is truly unparalleled. You are finally worthy to know everything. The end is near. The next day, August 21st, 2016, the user leaves a post, this time public. This is the culmination of what you have all done thus far. One final puzzle. Use all that you have learned. You have 2 years. If you fail, it is over. The 2 final sentences sends chills down the surges. What kind of monstrously difficult puzzle awaits them if the user considers 2 entire years necessary to finally put this mystery to rest? Not only that, but if they fail, they'll never find the answers that they seek, and it will have been for nothing. Another bacon cipher, this time slightly harder than the one they have done beforehand, leading them to this website. You have reached the pinnacle. This is the final barrier between you and the answers you so seek. In the top right is a timer in seconds, counting down to 2 years. Each puzzle solved leads to the next one in line. Reach the end. Remember, fail, and you'll never know the truth. First puzzle appears, just an image of the first ever post by the user, with a text box on the bottom to enter something in. They quickly find the hidden message in the top left. It reads, 2014-03-17. This must be what they are meant to find, a series of texts to fill in the box in order to proceed to the next puzzle. Upon entering it, brings them to the second one, which is just a singular line of binary code. They translate it, which reveals yet another cipher, and translating this once again. Entering this into the text box now takes them to the third puzzle, where a series of numbers flashes quickly across the screen. 635412-9. This sequence of numbers flashes over and over on the screen. They know that this must be some kind of ID for a level, but they also know that it simply cannot be in the order that is shown. Thus, they record all the numbers and play the sequence back again in slow motion to check for anything out of the ordinary. They conclude that perhaps, like with the singular numbers sent to them before, the numbers appearing here must each have a unique duration for how long they stay on the screen for, which must be the order in which they have to be arranged. They slow the video down and count the number of seconds each stays on screen, but it's no use. They all seem to stay on the screen for the same duration. Maybe then, they think, the answer must not lie in counting the number of seconds they stay on the screen, but milliseconds. Slowing it down as much as they can and using tools to help them determine each number's duration on the screen, they eventually come up with this sequence: 653429-1. They then put it into the geometry dash search bar and find the level. They check the description: ES12. The fourth puzzle appears, a third cipher with instructions: first line, -2, second line, -1. Second, remove the last from both. Take your time, ES blank. Translating the Bacon cipher does not work. They know that this is most likely a series of ciphers on top of a cipher, and they must find the right ones in order to proceed. After some time, they find out that they must translate this Bacon cipher into a base 32 cipher, then the base 32 into a Caesar cipher, until at last they get another series of coordinates. This one follows the same rules as the previous ones they have done, except the amount to take out has been reversed, eventually getting this. They rule out the first version as the two sets of coordinates didn't use the longer version either. Now they're left with two sets of numbers. They then follow the second step. It confuses them momentarily, but it must mean removing the very last numbers for each set. Then, finally applying the ES in front of them, as well as ensuring that there is a space between the two sets, they create this: ES 112118. Then, the fifth puzzle. You know what is next: the end. They decode the binary data into an image, with said image being a screenshot from the mysterious user themselves, showing 3 level uploads and a document file titled Explanation. In the caption, "This is what you seek. These are your answers. Good luck." Upon entering the phrase "good luck," they are finally here. The final obstacle, the final hurdle for the truth, the 6th and final puzzle. The ones before were all to refresh your memory and technique before this point. You will now have to use every one of them. No puzzle before can ever hope to compare to this one. It is an image of a spectrogram with 10 different segments scattered around and 10 lines of sentences in various cipher texts. Looking at all of this, they know what they must do to decipher each and every code. However, they discover every single one has layers upon layers of ciphers stacked on top of each other, and they must painstakingly trial and error through every individual line. The decryption tools online help them immensely, and after 6 months, they have half the list deciphered. And within another 4 months, they have the other half finished. It was hard and tedious work to get to this point, but finally, all 10 lines are finished, and they read as follows. Then, they calculate out of every single line how many possible combinations in total is contained within them. And the answer they get is 93 undecillion possible solutions combined. An utterly unreasonable number to even attempt. They search online for any answers or clues, but for 4 more months they are stuck, until one day they discover that they actually can narrow it down. While some are looking online, they discover that these lines have rules that they can use to narrow down the total number. For example, if a line has 2 reverses, they can be cancelled out. Opposite movements, like up and down, can also likewise be cancelled out if they are, of course, within the same line. Additionally, the order of some operations do not matter. For example, up 50 and left 30 is the same as if you did them in the opposite order, left 30 and up 50, meaning potentially out of the 93 undecillion solutions, there's actually more than one possible combination that works. With these new revelations in mind, they set to work reducing the amount of possible solutions using these rules, and 1 month later, they go from 93 undecillion possible solutions combined to anywhere from 1 million to 100 million possible solutions. Still a lot, but way more manageable than before. All that's left to do is to run it through a computer program until it gets to a solution. Now all they have to do is wait. On November 21st, 2017, 15 months since they began the final trial, the solution was at last found. They quickly arranged them into the order that they got, and finally, the spectrogram had been completed. And as they listen to it, a strange tune is heard. They eventually managed to decode the various tones into individual letters, and thus were left with this. From their prior experiences breaking ciphers, this one is quickly recognized as a base 64, and when converting it, they find once again another cipher. They compare this cipher to the ones they have done prior, and find that it is an integer cipher. But what kind? Running it through a decoder, they find that this is the 8-bit unsigned variant, also known as U8. But of course, things cannot be simple. There's yet another cipher underneath. And another, and then another, and yet another after that, and another, until a set of coordinates is uncovered. However, since there are no rules like the previous two, the searchers conclude this might just be a real-world location. As they discuss this, suddenly text flashes on the screen. I am watching. You can break any puzzle, any cipher, any task, no matter how tedious. Anything I put before you, you find. Go back in time, warm the walls there, find the code. Upon inputting the coordinates on Google Maps, it takes them to a prison, all in South Korea. The instructions are clear. Scan the walls for any sign of a QR code. But they find nothing. The walls are clear. With their search turning up empty-handed, they go to the aforementioned instructions. Go back in time. What could that mean? For a few more days, they don't know what to make of this, until one day, they notice that there's an option to see more dates on the top left corner of Google Maps. Now, they know what the user is referring to. They must use this to go back in time to when the QR code was still up. And after another few days of scouring through various years and points in time, you find it taped to a wall in front of the prison history hall. It says, "The answers you have been seeking." They zoom in and scan the code. This must be it. The culmination of 2 years and 1 day. 65,790 total hours of work. Dozens upon dozens of ciphers defeated. Going everywhere around the internet. Combing through its depths. It will all now come down to this. The page loads. Before them sits 3 sets of numbers, and beside them, a downloadable file. At the top of the page, it says, "You have made it." All the work has paid off. They now stand for what they have been looking for. All that's left is to discover the answers to the questions they have been chasing for nearly 2 years now. Hello, I am Quantum Minus. You no longer need to refer to me as that, as I have a name, one much more familiar to you all. Dark X. April 15th, 2014 is the date I remember well. I left the community in shame and disgrace. My level 1 genome was deleted in 1.7 as per my request. However, I could not bring myself to fully delete ARG. It was still my greatest level to date, and using Titanium Backup, I exported everything in my save file to Google Drive, where I left it for 4 months. The urge to come back, though, eventually did lead me to return. I didn't want to use my old account, though. Far better to have a new identity, no pressure, no controversy. Thus, I started anew as Quantum Minus, a slight nod to my earlier names. I had the intention to finish my Element Series 12 using this account, and therefore, I went back to the save file I had stored earlier, and by jailbreaking my new phone and using backup again, I was able to transfer everything onto this new account. I had begun Element 112CN. I was roughly halfway through it before I decided to quit because of ARG. This made it a fairly fast process then once I returned to finally finish it off Copernicium. Then I moved on to 113NH. Within 6 months, I was able to finish it, but I became demotivated and ran out of ideas for the rest of my levels. Due to this, I decided to take a break for a few weeks, and during this period of time, the idea of making my levels into a mystery puzzle for the community to work together and break came into fruition. Subsequently, I began making rapid progress on developing the entire ARG, researching ciphers, puzzles, other ARGs, etc. And very quickly, in 6 months, I had most of it together. All that was left were the websites, links, and other small details, which took a further 4 months. I then took roughly 3 to 4 days testing the puzzle, seeing if it worked properly, while still making it very difficult. And on June 20th, 2015, 3:43 AM, I finally made it public. While all of you were working together on my ARG, I took the time to go back to my Element series. I decided that if I couldn't finish the whole series, I might as well complete 118UUO, or OG as it is now called. Progress was very slow for the first 8 months, but eventually I hit a rhythm and began making faster progress. Ideas flowed easily, and I knew what I had to do and what to put. And at last, after another additional 6 months, 118 was done. All the while, I kept an eye on your progress. At some points, I debated whether or not I made things too hard or too easy, especially regarding the fact that perhaps I should just have kept my levels a secret. But of course, that would have been a bad choice to make under any circumstance. And once you got to the end, to here, I felt like I could finally leave in peace. Now to answer some questions you might have. Earlier, I mentioned that I only had one other level left to finish. I deliberately withheld that I had more levels, as I had to maintain my secrecy. No one could know I was Dark X until now. I had to play along as if I was just another creator, and not the one that became infamous for ARG. Furthermore, the Void account was my very first one. I used it as the foundation in a way to experiment and create different things based on my experience in Lunar Magic and making Mario maps as M-Trules. But in Geometry Dash, this account came before even my Dark M one. However, I eventually lost access to the original some months later, and well, you know the rest. Finally, this ARG. Why did I do it? To be honest, it was just meant to be a reflection of my own thoughts and experiences while being a part of the Element series, and just thinking about what could have happened had things been different. But now I feel as if I have done enough. I do not intend on returning. This whole thing is just to set my own mind at ease and to take the emotions off my shoulders. So for the last time, let's ignore the views. Haha. Goodbye. Quantum Minus.